Board of Trustees regular meeting Tuesday, September 5th, 2017 at 6:30 to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of meeting agenda. I would like to remove the EMS and put it down under items removed from consent agenda and add to new business 10D, Care Work-Life Solutions Annual Contract Renewal. Or if you just want to put care down. Any other additions or deletions, please?
Under 9, that's going to go as unfinished business.
Yes, 9 stays unfinished business, and because the attorney's not present, we can explain that at that time, if that's okay.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Scott. Any other additions or deletions?
Make a motion that we accept the agenda for the Tuesday, September 5th Board of Trustees meeting as amended. Second.
Thank you. Motion by Clerk Kendall, supported by Treasurer Arnold. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of minutes, 8/7/2017.
I have no questions on that. I'd like to make the motion that we approve the minutes from 8/7/2017.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Clifford, supported by Trustee Gurley. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public announcements. Any public announcements at this time? No public announcements. Public comment. Yes, sir. Please, if you would. Thank you, sir.
We were just wondering why the bridge on 30 Mile Road between Place Road and Bates hasn't been repaired. And I don't know who do we go to or what, because it seems to be the only one in the township. Is the fire guy?
I believe it is the only one
about
left. Is that correct, Mr. Safe?
The road commission. That would be the road commission. You have to contact the road commission for that. They own that bridge. It's not the township, not the township's bridge.
I thought I read a letter quite a while ago that said it was supposed to be repaired by 2011
By the road commission.
by the county.
I can tell you not to speak out of turn, but one of the problems I believe would be the finances. I believe, and I know Ms. Sonbacher sitting here, and that's probably going to exceed probably $1 million for that bridge. And I believe that's probably what the holdup is on it.
Okay, so how do I build a fire under somebody?
Cone County Road Commission, Mr. Safe?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? No other public comment? Consent agenda. All items listed under this consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Board and will be enacted by one motion. According to established Township meeting rules, there will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the Board or the public so requests at or prior to the meeting, in which events the chair of the meeting may remove such items from the consent agenda for discussion and consideration under agenda item number 8 below. Approval of the consent agenda shall be a majority roll call vote of those present and voting.
Okay, bills list. I need to add an item to the bills list. It's Connery Manufacturing for some floats that Cam had to purchase for $189.99, which brings our grand total of our bills list to $755.89.65. $755,089.65.
I make a motion we accept invoices for approval presented by the treasurer as written.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Clifford, supported by treasurer Arnold. Any other questions or discussion?
I have none.
Deputy clerk, roll call, please.
Clifford,
Aye.
Connell,
Aye.
Trombley,
Aye.
Kendall,
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Any motion to receive and file the consent agenda, please?
I make a motion that we accept and file the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Clerk Kendall, supported by Trustee Clifford. Deputy clerk, roll call, please.
Kendall,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Connell,
Aye.
Trombley.
Aye. Thank you. Letter 8, items removed from consent agenda. EMS report. Mr. White, thank you for waiting, sir.
This is fine. Good evening. Tonight's one of the things that I think enjoy most about my job, and that is the opportunity to swear in a new EMS professional. Tonight, the individual we're going to swear in is here with us. His name is Spencer White. While there is no immediate blood relation there, certainly tonight we make him formally a part of the EMS family. Spencer, if you want to come up here for a moment, I will tell you that Spencer's had a great probationary period at the EMS and has gotten through that without any problems whatsoever. I know the board will notice that at times we've had 2 or 3 or 4 people standing here when we've done swearing in. Tonight we have just 1. I've talked to the board on a couple of different occasions about the fact that whether it's police, fire, or EMS, right now there is a tremendous shortage of public safety professionals out there, and I guess I just use the opportunity while the cameras are rolling to say to our young people that are thinking about career choices that there's probably no more honorable profession in the world than working in public safety, whether you choose any one of the 3 disciplines, and certainly would encourage them to consider those things as they go back to school now, and maybe our seniors are looking towards careers in the future. With that, like I say, Spencer's had a really good probationary period with us, and has already been the paramedic who was in charge of a run where there was a person in cardiac arrest, a situation where somebody was not breathing and where they had no pulse, and where the patient was resuscitated and actually walked into the EMS the other day to thank all of us after being brought back from the dead, if you will, literally. And so he's had a really good opportunity at the EMS through his probation. So with that, I'll get on to the actual swearing in, and I'm just going to ask that Spencer raise his right hand and he'll repeat after me, or just say I do. I'm sorry, don't have to repeat after me, Spencer. And I'll just read the following. Spencer, I recognize at all times I am a public servant, and that ultimately I'm responsible for the safety and well-being of myself, my colleagues, and all citizens. If you can answer with I do.
I do.
I will accept responsibility for my actions by exhibiting honesty and integrity.
I do.
I will promote diversity within our organization and ensure fair and open access to all who are called for service.
I do.
I will observe the highest principles of fairness and strive to meet those values which reflect honor upon the township, EMS, and myself.
I do.
I will seek to maintain and improve my professional knowledge, skills, and competence.
I do.
Now, Spencer, do you swear to follow and uphold all the department SOPs, county medical treatment protocols, state and federal laws, as well as the state of Michigan and U.S. Constitution?
I do.
Finally, do you affirm you will not permit or cause any employer or agent acting on your behalf to do anything which would constitute a violation of this oath? I do. Spencer, at this time, I'll present you with your badge, and we'll try to do this without drawing blood, okay? He said, "Don't worry, Chief, I already poked holes in it." So he was a little concerned about whether or not I could do this or not. Spencer, if you want to turn this way, Township Board, members and citizens at large, on behalf of the Richmond Lenox Township Ambulance Authority, it's my privilege to formally present this sworn professional who I now attest is fully prepared to serve both you and our citizens. Thank you very much for the time this evening for the swearing in.
Thank you, Mr. White. While we have you up there, while we're filming, could you give yourself as the contact and the phone number anybody should call if they're interested?
Oh, yes, certainly if folks are interested in, in public safety, I'm going to throw my colleague at the back of the room under the bus as well, but if you're interested in professions in public safety, certainly you can contact us at the EMS office. It's 586-727-2184, or my colleague at the fire department, Chief Denny Fouché, at 749-6677. And like I say, we can certainly get you on the right track to begin your education. So thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 9, unfinished business. Lenox New Haven Historical Society resolution request. This evening, Mr. Joppick couldn't be present. He did write a recommendation letter on this. I'd like to wait till he gets back for further discussion on this. I don't know, the board's pleasure.
That sounds good to me. If I have questions, they're going to go to him anyway, so.
So if we could get a motion to table it this time.
I make a motion, we table item 9, unfinished business, until our attorney returns for the next meeting.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion by trustee Clifford, supported by treasurer Honnold. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion tabled. And then letter B, Planning Commission Recording Secretary compensation. Once again, this is an item that was put forth to Mr. Joppick. He's not able to be present this evening. I'd like to do the same.
Wouldn't my motion cover item 9, cover both A and B?
No,
No?
no, separate.
Okay. In that case, I'll make the motion that we table item B under unfinished business until our attorney returns. I have a question in that regard too.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All right. Motion by trustee Clifford, supported by trustee Gurley. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Motion tabled. Thank you. Number 10, new business. Fire Department floor scrubber purchase for Station 2. Chief Fouché.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Ron, if I may, just for 10, 20 seconds, I gave everyone a run report, but that doesn't really spell out everything we do for the whole month. But I just want to mention, over a 13-day time frame in August, the department ran on 3 motor vehicle accidents, one of which was serious, 1 CPR, 2 overdoses, the trench rescue in Chesterfield Township where 2 men's lives were saved, a fire and explosions, multiple explosions at the Consumers Power Plant in Marine City Highway in Ivor Township, and then a fire last Sunday at Pine Tree Acres. So to say that we've been busy is an understatement. So I just want to mention that for not only for the board, but for the public at large also. That's how it's been going at the fire department. And touching back on the trench rescue, I can tell you that the entire community, the board, myself in particular, can be very proud of our personnel. They performed outstandingly. There were 6 of us that responded to the Chesterfield incident. And we were down there for several hours, and he's been walking around and talking today because of the work of the entire group effort. There were over 50 firefighters and rescuers on the scene that day, so.
Thank you. You continue to make me proud. You guys are doing a good job.
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate that. I really do. Moving on to my agenda item, I dropped this off to the board members in your mailboxes last week. A year and a half or so ago, we purchased a floor scrubber for Station 1, and it's night and day on the maintenance that it's providing for the fire station floors. We've spent thousands of dollars on redoing all the floors at both buildings, and so now I want to purchase a floor scrubber machine for Station 2. I budgeted for this under my capital outlay. In fact, I budgeted over, I believe it was $7,000. And I'd like to go with the same company that we went with last year, which is Clean Freak, and they're out of Wisconsin. They came in at a price of $5,054.24, and it's exactly what we paid a little over a year ago, a year and 3 months ago. As you note in my cover letter, they did raise the rates by $300, but they agreed to hold it for us, so I thought that was really good. Went to Minuteman, $7,500, Southeastern, $10,226, and Granger at $13,226.
Was there any explanation for the discrepancy in price? I mean, you go from 5 to 13?
Yeah, well, Granger is high on.
Oh, they are usually.
You know, you dealt with them at the county level, I'm sure, just like Cam does. They can be pretty high on certain things, and floor scrubbers is one of them.
Almost triple.
Minuteman is a comparable company, okay, but they were still $2,500 more. So, and we're very happy with the machine we got. We haven't had a single issue with it. In fact, the younger guys, when Cam or Marty tell them, hey, the floor's got to get done, it's actually, hey, I'll do it. Well, we never had that issue before. Nobody wanted to ever step up and wash the floor. So it's never an issue now. So.
Okay.
That's good.
Any other questions?
I make a motion that we accept Chief Boucher's recommendation on the Clean Freak machine and go ahead and purchase.
Second.
Motion by trustee Clifford, supported by clerk Campbell. That's purchase price of $5,054.24, correct?
Yes, sir.
Other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Open houses, Sunday, October 8th. We will have one more board meeting before then, but just putting that in everybody's mind from 11 to 3 at headquarters in Gratiot. Thank you.
You said 8, right? 8, October 8th.
Thank you.
I said 18th. It was
No, he said
8th.
8.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. DPW vehicle purchase request. Good evening.
Good evening. Everybody should have a copy of a proposal that I submitted in regards to a vehicle replacement for your consideration. What I'm asking for is to replace the current DPW pickup truck that we have. It's a 2006, it's 11 years old. Currently has 84,000 miles on it, and quite frankly, the body is rotting off the frame on it. Because of the corrosion between the salt and the back road mud. It was noted this past spring when we put the plow away for summerization, even the plow is basically falling apart. It's showing signs of massive fatigue from all the years of plowing with it. I did go to a couple of the local Ford dealers, and through our fleet discount program, was able to get some comparable pricing on the same vehicle through each dealer, which is listed on your proposal. Going through that, the rebates that are available, as well as the trade-ins that each dealer would offer on the current vehicle, I am recommending that we grant Fred Grandy Ford the purchase of a new replacement pickup truck. Now, this truck would be the exact same model and type of vehicle that we currently have. And that would also include replacing the plow with that vehicle as well. The total cost for the vehicle, plow, and all the necessary equipment to outfit this vehicle would be roughly $45,330.
Any questions?
That 2017?
Unless there's no 17s available, because of when you go to the dealer, all they can search for is what's available. So due to timing, of collecting these quotes and then going back to them, they will search the dealer network and try and find one of those. Worst case scenario, then it would, depending on timing, we'd need to order one, which we'd be looking about 6 to 8 weeks if we were to order it.
An F-150?
It'd be a F-350, which is currently what we have now. An F-150 is not heavy enough to do the work that's required of that vehicle.
Any questions?
Have you priced other vehicles, different, not Fords, Dodges, Chevrolets?
No, I did not. And I didn't because most of my fleet is all Fords now. I've had tremendous luck with Fords. And I'd
they
prefer to
don't
stick with
break
them.
in, give you a price, because your whole
And-
fleet is Ford.
Right, and currently our fleet discount is only through Ford.
Would we be trading in the one you have then?
Correct.
Yes.
Which currently Fred Grading Ford is offering $10,000 for that truck.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yep. And does anybody look at the condition of that truck? It's a great turn-in value. One trade-in value was $4,500, one was $10,000.
Yeah, 4,500 sounds more like it.
So the total cost you gave for the truck was minus the 10, or?
That's correct. The total cost of the new vehicle minus the trade-in with the necessary equipment would be $45,330. Which roughly $6,500 of that is a new plow alone.
This item was budgeted for, correct?
Correct, and actually we budgeted for this numerous years, I believe at least the last 3 years, and I have not brought this purchase to the board because it just didn't feel like the purchase was the right time. When I did research this time, it definitely is the right time, and I don't believe we're going to get this kind of trade-in value in the future.
Yeah, whenever the truck, that day the parking lot came, it was rough, ladies and gentlemen. It's in bad shape.
It's 11 years old.
Any other questions?
I make a motion that we proceed with purchasing the Ford described in Cam's proposal with the additional lights, sirens, lettering, logo for a total of $45,330 from Fred Grandy Ford.
I'll second.
Motion from trustee Clifford, supported by treasurer Honnold. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Or actually, I'm going to do roll call on this. Roll call, Deputy Clerk, please.
Clifford,
Aye.
Connell,
Aye.
Trombley,
Aye.
Kendall,
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Letter C, October Board of Trustees meeting, possible date and time change. On that day, I have a conflict myself. I can either start earlier or later, and they're trying to change the time of the game where we wouldn't have to change the meeting. So it's a possibility that we will not have to change the meeting or else I won't be present, but I think you have a commitment too that you have to.
I have a commitment to the same game.
We both are working for the local school that night. So we don't know, they have the game scheduled right now at 4:30 start time. So I don't know what the board's pleasure is. If they leave it the same, I will not be able to be present. Mr. Clifford will not be able to be present, come in sometime after the meeting. It'd probably be pretty close. I don't know what your estimate on time would be, depending on things went. It's parent night. It's a senior parent night is what they're having. It's a function. I coach the team and he's the announcer.
Something I've been volunteering for since 1991, and the kids appreciate when I come out, and I've kind of made a commitment to do it. I didn't realize at the time that it was conflicting.
And as the coach of the team, I have to be there, and we have some kids that don't have parent representation to walk them out for senior night, so kind of feel in that way too. So it's an event I really would not want to miss.
So are you thinking of changing just the time or the day?
The time, if we could do that. We might not have to. We're supposed to get word later tonight or tomorrow. They're contacting the referees to see if they can do like a 7:30 or 8 o'clock game where it wouldn't interfere with our meeting here. So we could be having the same time as our normal meeting. But if not, that's what I wanted to prepare the board for, that this could become an issue and we won't have another time to meet until this.
Why don't you just move it to a different night?
I'm available too. I don't know about Mr. Clifford.
What's that? I'm
and the
sorry.
rest of the board.
Move it to Tuesday night, would Mr. Jopic be available?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because I know tonight's Tuesday and he's not available, so I didn't know if that was an ongoing thing.
I believe he's on vacation right
Oh,
now.
okay, all right.
That's one of the issues, but I didn't want to put anybody in a bad situation, popping this up last minute, and this comes around the same time every year. It's always the first Monday, and
If that's the case, maybe it could be the following Monday then,
Night.
if you can't do Tuesdays.
My only concern is that we need to make a decision with enough time that we can get it posted and
Absolutely.
and out there for the public.
and that's what, we're a month ahead of time here,
Right.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
bringing it up now, so.
Yep.
If you like, we don't have to act, I mean, we can,
So we really can't make it,
we could always schedule a special meeting prior, but
until you find out, we really can't make a decision. Can we?
unless you want to change
Well,
the
we could
date.
make the decision to change the date totally, and then that just, I mean, if we make a decision to change it to the 9th as opposed to the 2nd, then we're just made that decision and we're done,
Correct.
because otherwise.
What about the following day on Tuesday?
If we change it to that, he could.
The only question remains on a Tuesday is Mr. Jopic available?
Well, we don't know if he'd be available that Monday though either, would we?
Monday the 9th, you have a game, and it's an away game.
And it's Columbus Day, isn't it?
Yep, we have another one.
Yeah, I think so.
So it'd probably be better to do Tuesday. Could he send somebody else in his place?
The only other option is to change the time of the board meeting to 7:30 and leave the game at 4:30.
I'd rather do that or move it to the following day.
Yeah.
I would say at this point, the only safe bet right now would be a Tuesday.
This Tuesday?
There'd be no
I'm good with
no
that.
issues then. If that would work for everybody, I don't want to inconvenience them. Sorry to do
I'll be on
this.
vacation, but I'll be back for that.
I don't expect a large agenda.
What's that?
I don't expect a large agenda. The only other thing we could do is if you wanted it earlier in the day. That would be another option on the same day.
I would rather make it, I would like to, that's an option, but I want to make it available to the public. A lot of people are still at work.
Yeah, and if your thing's at 4:30, that's too early.
Yep. Tuesday at 6:30, the following day.
That's good with me.
It's good with me?
Is that enough time, Glenn?
Yes.
What's the date on that, please?
10/3. You need a motion?
Please.
I will make a motion to change the October meeting date to Tuesday, October 3rd at 6:30.
Second.
Motion by Treasurer Honnold, supported by Trustee Clifford. Any other discussion? I really appreciate the board working with us on that too. It is a great event for for the kids.
I like keeping the time the same too, for the public's sake, for that one.
Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Letter D, Care Work-Life Solutions Annual Contract Renewal. I don't know if everybody's familiar with CARE. This is a program that we've had with the township. It is available to all township employees. Deputy Supervisor, this is the total cost, once again?
$500.
For the year, correct? And that still allows us six free training sessions with the township?
That's correct.
This is, once again, it's an invaluable program. All of our employees have access to it, and we have 6 training members, $500 for the whole year.
It's available for full-time, part-time retirees, contractors, contractual, seasonal, and their families, their dependents. We do get quarterly reports if there's been anybody that has gone there or over the phone, counseling, besides having the 6 hours here of any kind of training.
Everything stays confidential. We just get a report that shows numbers.
Number, yeah, one person came, or 2 people where it did a phone consultation. But yeah, they never give us the name.
This is an annual thing. It costs us $500 a year. We've been doing it for a while.
We've had it as long as I can remember. The last couple of years, we haven't had any training. That's something I really think we
I
should
think
do.
the last event we had here was a town hall suicide prevention with them. Was the last big event we had. So,
Are the firefighters separate, or do they still have it also? And they-
I don't know if you piggyback off our program, Denny, or you
No,
have
they're-
your own.
We have our own contract.
But you use CARE also, correct? And I believe the EMS does too. It's for the cost, it's an invaluable service to have available for your employees. I think you guys would agree with that.
Yes.
The 6-hour professional development training is, we've done our lunchtime, so we would have a lunch service, we provide pizza, and then they would come in and give us a training on whatever topic we picked, and there's a long list of topics.
Any other questions?
My only concern is how many of those training hours, the professional development hours, did we use last year? None. We paid $500 for the service last year and didn't use it.
But we had an employee, I don't know who said that already, but they did use the service. And I don't remember if it was phone or they went there. But we had at least one employee that I
used.
recall.
When I asked earlier, I was told that it wasn't, so I was just checking.
No, using the service for the 6.
I think she's talking about the
They're 2
6-hour
different
training.
things. The development training is here. That's totally separate than somebody having a consultation where they have something going on in their life that they want to talk
Yeah,
about,
they're 2 different.
whether it's personal or work related. We've even at one time sent an employee there for training, a one-on-one training. But that's been a few years too.
I would highly recommend keeping this in play. That's the best way I can put it. And we have our professionals back there. Gentlemen, if I could for a second, would you highly recommend keeping this in play?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at EMS, we've done some of the training, but more importantly, what we've been able to use it for is, the employee, it's really an employee assistance plan. It's called an EAP program. It's a more common name that you might recognize it. It's really some way that their employees, if they're having an issue with work or even outside of work, can go meet with counseling staff at, no cost to the employee. The other thing that allows you to do is if you have an employee who is been doing a very good job for you, but suddenly you see some affecting their performance, maybe you send them, because maybe there's something, going on within their personal life that is affecting their work. And so for the $500, we always felt like hiring a counselor, to do that independently would be a lot more than what this cost us to enroll it. So we don't use it every year, but, when we do use it, it seems to be valuable to the EMS thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Don't they have the same things going on in Macomb County, though? That you have programs that you can go to for there.
And also, isn't that covered under your medical?
Not to my knowledge.
It's stuff that relates to how you feel? So that's related under your medical. So what do you guys got, an added cost there?
Not emotional. If it's an emotional.
It doesn't help with the fire department.
It's still considered medical?
Okay.
I don't believe that that's covered. It's different.
Covers some of that.
Not at the fire department, because they're all paid on-call employees, so they don't get any type of health care.
Can it be
We
done
had
on an individual basis instead of a lump sum of $500 per person or something who are coming in and then?
This is a $500 fee total
Right,
for all the employees, everybody.
but only nobody used it.
No, that's not true. The 6 hours training did not get used. They offer a 6-hour separate training if they want to come in and do training that you can have. But the services for individuals to go to was used. That's a separate.
One time?
I'd have to go back in my records and look. I know for sure at least one time, but I don't recall if it was over the phone or, someone took a visit there.
I think a lot of it, the one we had at the road commission when I was there, and I retired a few years ago, it's the same program. And it does, most of your medical insurance does not cover mental health. So the employee assistance program was something you went to for emotional stability and stuff like that. So you lost a loved one, you maybe you're rehabbing, you got a family member that's rehabbing from drugs or to that effect. And you would go and they would counsel you on how to deal with this and stuff like that. And we had it, and I forget the total cost, but it was used quite a bit. And a lot of the times, the records of who uses it are confidential, because these people would not want other employees to know what they're going through.
Confidentiality, but the numbers.
You got a number, you got $100.
But if for the $500 for the year for the amount of employees we have in Lenox Township, I think is pretty reasonable. I mean, I understand the training hours weren't used, but
But you're sure we're not getting covered double here, because if you also have medical coverage, and a lot of medical coverage takes care of your emotional problems.
I found very rarely. We had a great with the road commission. They just added mental health to the system during their last contract negotiation. There was no mental health insurance at that particular employer. I mean, that's where I was, but somebody else covers it, maybe they do, I don't know.
And I can tell you, our medical insurance doesn't cover if we want to have a representative here or a group of representatives for a town hall meeting for a problem like right now. There's a huge opioid, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, epidemic.
Oh, we can get that money from Trump, don't worry about it.
There's a huge problem with that going on right now. So if that is something that we want to put on for the public, they would come assist us with that, where our medical insurance wouldn't do that. And these are serious problems, and I think our two gentlemen in the back could speak how serious these are in our community and all the communities in Macomb County. Really hitting hard right now.
I totally agree with that, but I'm saying that Macomb County covers an awful lot of that themselves. We pay Macomb County for that service, then we're paying our township for that service also. I'm a nurse and I
don't know that Macomb County's,
for sure does that.
I'm not aware that Macomb County is covering that.
I beg to differ. I'm a nurse and I know for a fact that they do because we send people to Macomb County.
Macomb County would pay that for their residents?
Macomb, it's free. If you're a resident of Macomb County.
Well, I'm asking, I don't know. Okay.
You go in, just like you would
program?
be here. If you're going into the service for them, it would be free for them to come to this service. I never, personally, I've lived in Macomb, in this township for 30-some years. I've never heard of it. I've never heard of the service you offer. Who's telling us about it? I don't even know. I heard tonight, but that's.
I can tell you we've had it ever since I've been in office. And I don't know, Ms. Marker, how long it's been previous, but
I was very stingy, as you know, on a lot of things when we would vote on money issues. I feel that this $500 is very much worth what we're going on today in the society we have out there. I don't feel at all bad about spending $500.
Can it be more broadcast then, so people will know about it?
Well, it's the employees that need to know about it, not
Right,
me
it's-
as a
it's not so much the general
All of you know
public.
about it, everybody, all the employees know about it.
Correct.
And their families have, and their dependents can use it too. So yes, I tell all our employees about it. When they're hired, if I know someone's going through a rough patch, I said, do you remember we have this program? You need to talk. They're there.
So that goes on to your medical insurance.
Any other questions?
I will make a motion that we sign this agreement and continue with Care Work Life Solutions for another year at the cost of $500. Second.
Motion by Clerk Candell, supported by Treasurer Honnold. There discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment? Any public comment at this time?
I don't see any seniors.
Was there any,
Yep, could you go up to the podium, please? Thank you.
I'm not sure about the building adjacent over here, what it's being used for. The old, the other building over here by the tennis courts.
I can tell you it's not being used at this time.
Is there any way that can be turned into a senior center?
We have our senior center right here, right now. And this is basically public comment time, not
Oh, I'm sorry.
a question and answer time, but I can tell you we have our senior center in here at this time.
Yeah, but ours, this one's so
Okay,
limited.
never mind. That's all right. It's not
There-
my,
there's-
it's not.
My turn.
Uh-oh. Not
You have the facility over there, and you can look at other townships all around us, except St. Clair, because I know nothing about them. And the senior centers have their own building, they have their own person running it, and they're doing it with federal funds. They're not even taking it from the township. And there is supposed to be funds available for the seniors. And I just wonder, has anybody looked at it or not? I mean, because they got everything going on. They got carving classes, they got people knitting, they've got card games, you name it, pool tables, anything you can think of for seniors. And all of them, at all the centers we have been to, they always tell us the same thing. It's operating under federal funds, and they are townships. Shelby, Washington, and in fact, Washington and Romeo and Bruce got together so that they could have a bigger one, and a bigger senior center. And it's all being operated out of money that they're getting back from Washington, which I paid anyway, but I mean,
They're actually CDBG funds, or Community Block Grant funds, sir, and I will answer your question on that. We're trying to save as much money as we possibly can. We found this to be the most cost efficient and be able to give the seniors the most money. To open that building up, you'd have to heat it and cool it and maintain it, and also to have a person there all the time for supervision, which would be a great cost. It's another employee to stay there with them if it's open all the time. We have a person that shows up for services rendered for our seniors. We feel that's been the best cost-saving measure that we have at this time, and to provide them with the most we can.
so when did they get their shuffleboard court? I understand they've asked for one.
I have no idea. I don't know that they've asked for one. Matter of fact, I haven't had one person ask me for one.
It wouldn't be, we're not asking for the cost for the township, we're talking about the federal government here.
They're Community Block Grant funds that were allotted so much.
But we don't apply for them. They say everybody has to apply.
And they come in specifics. They come in for programming and brick and mortar. And once those funds are allocated, say for that facility, it can never revert back. It has to stay that type of facility forever. So if we ever decide to change any plans or anything, it's stuck. That is stuck there for life.
We're not going to be seniors?
I'm sorry, pardon?
We're going to run out of seniors?
Well, the problem we did have here was participation at one time. We did not have a lot of participation. And the other problem was we had people in that building, seniors in that building, by themselves. They were in there by themselves because we didn't have an employee to sit over there with them.
But you have a director now, right?
We have a director, but she's part-time. She only works a certain amount of hours, and
You're
that's
only
it.
open when you're part-time.
You have to pay them. And that comes out of the small amount of money that we're allotted for all the programs. It's a great expense, I will tell you.
Or maybe you've got to join somebody else, just like Washington and Bruce did.
What I can tell you is we do try to join with the other senior centers when we go on trips to try to fill the buses for cost-saving measures. We reach out, people from New Baltimore come here, from Ray come here, New Haven. We reach out, try to get them involved, and our seniors participate with them also in different functions. Mystery dinners, they don't go so much now, but like a trip to the casino or things of that nature, to a specific event, a ball game. They try to reach out and get other people involved for cost-saving measures, because cost is the biggest factor. And I don't know if any of the board members would like to, Luann, you especially, you were involved in this. And
Sure. When I was involved with it, I always did trips that were Lenox, Ray, and Baltimore, because that's the only way you could make the money stretch enough that you had enough to give the seniors the kind of trips that they wanted. So, you know.
Well, it's,
Luann, you were senior director for a long time, weren't you?
4 years,
4 years?
something like that.
well, maybe we got to revisit the funds, because it seems to me a lot of these places are getting a whole lot more funds than we are.
well, they're large. If you said, I'll give you an example. When you say Shelby and places like that, the money is totally different.
We're talking
We're-
Ray Township. Ray's
Pardon?
small. Ray Township is very small.
Ray's very
Township gets
comparative to
federal
ours.
funds. They get federal funds.
And so do we.
They get CDBG funds. The problem is that about 3 years ago, the government cut CDBG funds way back. And we were having a problem getting enough funds to do, I used to like to do a trip a month with the seniors. And we were having a hard time. That's when we partnered in with New Baltimore so that we could make those trips last. I'm all for the senior center, believe me, I really am, but federal funds have gotten a lot less than they used to give us.
We even increased our allocation for trip services
Yep.
because it wasn't enough. We increased ours because the CDBG funds are not enough, and they're very specific. Only a certain portion goes to, like I said, programming and to brick and mortar, and they have to be used for those specific purposes. That's it. No, you just can't do as you please with them.
Ms. Candell was Ray Township's senior director too, part-time, wasn't she?
Yes, that was.
So there's a lot more to it, and going back to the shuffleboard, I've never had one person ask me for a shuffleboard.
Okay. That's not what I heard when I made my presentation to them to try and play pickleball, even though that fell on its face. That was the first thing they threw at me. Where's our shuffleboard?
And that program did not stop, but somebody
Who
said
was
it
that?
did.
Who made that statement to you?
One
It
of,
stopped.
I don't even know which one of the
We
seniors
came
it was.
in,
The
we
first
came
thing
in
they
this
stood up
morning
and
and
said to
they
me.
said
Yeah, but that's a senior, that's not one of us saying that we had told them that they were getting a cord.
According to them, they had brought it to the township. and
I have no
it got turned
idea.
down. Okay.
I don't think any of us are aware of anybody
No.
coming and asking about shuffleboard.
The last time I heard someone mention shuffleboard was we were in the other building.
Correct. And sir, be happy to spend time with you on this. When we come to these are public comment things where you get to make a comment, but if you want like information on this, please feel free to stop by. We can try to find out some of the, answers to some of your questions for you specifically in advance, so you could have the information. Be happy to do that for you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later, and I'll talk to you more.
Any other public comment?
Can I just real quick let everybody know that our new voting equipment is here, and we do have an election, a school election in November. Our maid of schools has something on the ballot in November, so we'll be rolling out the new equipment in November. Wish us luck.
Excellent. Excellent.
At least it's a small school, so you.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Anything else? Just need a motion.
Make a motion that we adjourn at 7:23. Second.
Motion by Trustee Gurley, supported by Treasurer Holland. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.